Hello. Okay, so don't just hit the like button, please. I'll just write down the message. Otherwise, I still have to look at two separate sources for you for your attendance. Only makes it more confusing to me. Okay. 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 Good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. What's there? Okay. Yeah. Doing attendance these days is so much of an effort. Yeah, okay. Almost everyone's here then. Is this video sponsored again? Yeah, yeah. This game is sponsored by Dark Souls. Let's have a look. Almost everyone then. Yeah. Okay, so just a couple of people are still missing. So I can see, for example, one person who is in the YouTube chat, but who didn't announce his attendance in the Teams chat, which is what I'm asking you to do. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so those are the two last ones then. Very good. Very neat. Okay. Yeah, I'm streaming. So while I'm streaming, I will make sure to mention no names, like I explained yesterday, because I want to be able to have people view this at a later occasion, but also then be able to be AVG proof, right? So I don't want to have any mentions of names, so you won't see what you call it, the chat, the live chat. I will exclude the live chat. So guys, if I'm not mistaken, you all have your homework in your agendas. Let's let me have a look again. What did I say? Um, yeah, up to and including 6.8. So instead of me just sitting here and waiting for you to work on those assignments, let's just continue with the trend of yesterday and well, if able, make sure that no one has any homework at all. That would be nice, don't you think? So grab your books. Okay. So, like I also mentioned to someone else earlier today, I'm much aware that in the coming period that you have to make a definite choice for which courses you're going to follow in the coming years. That's a lot of responsibility at this moment. Um, Even more so because not everyone is already aware of what they're going to do after this, after high school. So I feel for you guys, okay? I feel for you. That's max today. What do you think? What do you mean? Oh, you mean today's the deadline for you to make a choice? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, well, exciting, exciting. So, uh, chapter 6, what we're doing right now is one of the key subjects for general economics in not only this year but also in the coming years. So, this goes for both levels of education. If you're going to do half of VWO, one of both doesn't matter too much. Um, so let's open up the book, shall we? Let me find the right page. Must be somewhere around here. Building blocks. Oh, by the way, while I'm looking for the assignment that where we left off, um, I'm very much busy with checking all your tests. I suspect that I will be done quite soon, so you don't have to wait much longer. Um, okay. Oh no, you know, you can easily spot um, who learned and who learned less, so to say. Okay, so do you guys all have page 76 in front of you? Page 76, okay? And this is what it looks like. Okay, so I can show you the book. I can show you the book. However, I can copy and paste these kinds of things. Okay, let's get to drawing, shall we? So the last thing that we discussed yesterday was how to read of a demand function, right? So the last formula that we saw was what do I do? What do I do? Yeah, this is a good one, I think. So copy, paste. Okay. So this is what we saw yesterday, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but from the top of my head, I think the answer here was. Wait, what am I doing? This is a pencil. So okay, black. So if I remember correctly, this was 800, 600, 500, 400, and 200. Yeah? Okay, yeah, exactly. So, and 5 was then 0. Yeah, just for usefulness. So, what this basically says, because this is all about demand, if you might remember, um, when prices increase, people want to buy less. Makes sense, right? No one is going to be confused about it. So this is what you see in the demand curve also. This is what you saw yesterday, okay? So if prices are 0 or 5, excuse me, if prices are 5, then demand is 0. Let me use another color. So if prices are 4, then demand is going to be 200, etc., etc., etc. There you go. So what's left to do? Blam. Like so. Like so. So this is a demand curve. And like you might see, it's not a curve at all. Rather, it's just a straight line. And we won't be bothering you with curves that follow this path or this or whatever with regards to demand, because that's not the point of the exercise, okay? Any questions about how to draw this? I think this is relatively doable. Okay, so I don't suspect people will have questions. So let's continue on, okay? 6.5, we're still on page 76, and it says the most favorite way, most favorite. Then why is it called a curve? Why is it called a curve? Well, I think it's to make fun of anyone who's trying to learn the concept. I don't know anything else. Yeah. By the way, is that an Avatar reference? Aang's mom? Yeah. So while you're answering, yeah, okay. Curious. I thought he was an orphan. So let's continue. Okay. Next. 6.5. You can see the demand function here, and they're talking about number of barbecue packages demanded. So people, let me give you some advice with regards to English. Okay. Most favorite way. Oh, you are his mom. Okay. The most favorite way. That's I think you would call in Dutch a pleonasme. It's double. Don't do it with English. Just say the favorite way to prepare food in the summer months in Alstad is barbecuing. The demand curve for barbecue packages looks as follows: at a certain moment, fill in the table in the graph in source 6.4, draw the demand curve, and for which price will no more barbecue packages be demanded. People, as you might find, this is the exact same exercise as the last one. So we're going to skip it if you don't mind. You can practice it on your own if that's what you want, but there's nothing new here. You're basically doing the same thing as with 6.4. One thing I would like to point out though is a certain term that's being called. Um, Let me add something here. Okay. This is what's called willingness to pay. It's a bit of a crooked, een scheve vertaling, een crooked translation. Want in het Nederlands is het gewoon betalingsbereidheid. And I feel the Dutch name makes a lot more sense than the English name does. Because if you look at this model, this is a demand curve, right? Cutie, it's such a cutie. This line shows at which price, against which price people like to buy which quantity of, well, whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, against which price people like to buy several products or not. And ja, betalingsbereidheid wil dus zeggen hoeveel wil je betalen om iets te kopen. Well, that's what the line shows. So if you're going to choose economics in the fourth year, and you are taught by me, I will teach you to say betalingsbereidheid in plaats van vraag, okay? So the demand curve shows the willingness to pay of people. And 6.5 is an interesting question. I think you should make a note of it somewhere, because if the question is, let me delete this, okay? Delete this. Yeah, let's do so. If the question is, for which price will no more barbecue packages be demanded, then the question is, when is QD 0? This is the maximum willingness to pay. So maximum willingness to pay. You should be able to do this on the test, by the way. Maximum willingness to pay. So, well, how to do it? Let me show you. You can see the formula is minus 20p plus 600, and then 0 equals this number, okay? So I'm going to show you then the elaborate method, dus de uitgebreide methode, but you will find it's quite simple. Something, namely this. Yeah, you always get the formula, so you don't have to guess. This number plus 600 should be 0, so this is then minus 600, and minus 600 divided by minus 20 is p is obviously then 30. But let's do it in the more elaborate fashion, okay? Let's do this in the more elaborate fashion so you can see how to solve it with more difficult numbers. This is all what you've learned during maths, okay? So this is the thing that you're supposed to solve. 0 is minus 20p plus 600. What you would like to have is p on one side and then the numbers on the other side, so to say. So if you want to get rid of this one, well, just deduct 600 from both sides, okay? This is called the balancing method in during maths. So minus 600 equals minus 20p. So minus 20 times something equals 600. So minus 600 minus 20 equals p, and that's then 30, okay? So this is 6.5c, by the way, if you were unable to follow. So you could either read it from the graph or solve it like so, okay? Depends on if you have the big brains or not. Yeah, well, whatever. These are brains. So let's continue. Any questions, by the way, so far? These are big brain plays. Okay. That's okay. It's not about, it's all about how you use it, right? So let's make a new one. Let's make a new page. So let's have a look. So with regards to 6.6, this is a big brain reproduction that you need to know, okay? The question is namely, why is it that more geraniums are supplied when the price increases? There are always two reasons. And the first one is the most important one. This is the one that you should at least always mention. Yeah? Don't forget it. This one is the most important one. Ready? The reason is when prices increase, incr dot, comma, less efficient businesses become able to supply. Okay. And what I mean by efficient, by the way, means that the most efficient businesses have the lowest costs, so to say. Dus de meest efficiënte bedrijven hebben de laagste kosten. When prices increase, then businesses who have relatively high costs become able to supply the goods, perhaps for a smaller profit, but a profit still. And the second reason is the one that all students know. It's easier to be the selling geranium. Wait, what am I doing? Help! Selling geraniums becomes more profitable. Yeah. And when it becomes more interesting to sell things, no, efficient doesn't mean low selling prices. Efficient means low costs. So it becomes simpler for a business to achieve a profit. Okay. The other reason then is it becomes the market becomes more profitable en in het Nederlands noemen we het ook wel lucratief. Er is meer winstgevendheid in de markt. Je kan beter winst maken. Er is meer winst. So for example, the people who were already selling their geraniums are getting more profit. So markets are more lucrative. Which makes it more interesting, which attracts more producers. So it's all about the cash money, right? All about the cash money. This is a bill, by the way. There you go. So, let's continue. Okay, so if you can believe that businesses have if consumers have a willingness to pay, then it's lucrative. Ja, lucratief wil zeggen winstgevend, interessant. I think a synonym would be profitable. Profitable is probably a good synonym. Okay. So profitable, I think, is the best synonym. So 6.7 then, okay? 6.7. Let's create a new screen, okay? Okay, there we go. This is 6.7. And the formula that's given is QS, because we're now talking about supply, equals 400p minus 500. So we're doing the same thing as yesterday, okay, people? So if the price is €1 and 25 cents, that means 400 times 125 is 500 minus 500 means against this price, no goods are supplied, okay? If the price is 2, however, then it's 800 minus 500, which is 300. 250 is then 500, 700, and then to conclude, wait, 4 times 4, wait, is this going okay? 1100? Oh yeah, that makes sense because these are steps of 50 cents. So then it's a euro and that's 400. Okay. No. It's 1600 minus 500, so that's 1100. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was also making the assumption, but that's because these are steps of 50 cents. Sorry, from this to this is 50 cents, this also, and then it's 1 euro, so that's why it's 400. Confusing, right? Always pay close attention. So what you can see here is when prices increase, that's why you need to rethink sometimes. Okay, when prices increase, then it becomes more attractive to supply, or like I just mentioned, big brain moment, when prices increase, less efficient businesses become able to supply. Yeah. Okay, so when the price is 125, that's here. These are always linear functions, okay? So you only need 2 points. So when the price is 125, wait, I'm messing it up. Like so, that's about here. And the price is then 4 euros is 1100. Oh man, I'm making such a mess of this. So there you go. So this is what the supply curve looks like. Okay. So for a price of 125 means 1100 geraniums. Please remember that the axes are switched, right? So this is like if you were looking at maths, this is then y and this is x, okay? So the thing is then, the question is, from which price will no geraniums be supplied anymore? Well, you can see it right here. It's 125. But basically, like what I just explained about the maximum willingness to pay, there's also something called. Wait, let's do this differently. There's also something called the. Wait, how to do this? 400p minus 500, okay? So QS equals 400p minus 500. There's also something called the minimum willingness to supply. This is a price from which businesses will actually start supplying goods. This from this price on, so not at this price, but from this price on, because the answer is then 0 equals 400p minus 500. And if you were going to do the same thing as we just did to figure out what p then is, plus 500 on both sides is what I would do, which gives you 500 equals 400 to p. And then 400 times p should be 500. So 500 divided by 400 is then p, which equals 125, which is what we just which is what we already read in the graph. Okay, so minimum willingness to supply, maximum willingness to pay is what you should know. Okay. Okay, 6.8. I want to do this quite quickly because I understand that 45 minutes of lesson time is quite a lot, so I don't want you to suffer too long. Okay. Supply and demand of geraniums. Wait. So copy. There we go. I need your help with this one, okay, guys? Because I don't have the demand curve in front of me. Yeah, I understand. Okay? I understand. So 6.7 asks you to combine then the demand curve and the supply curve, okay, in the same figure. So this is about 125, I think. There we go. If I remember correctly, this is the supply curve or something that looks like it. And the demand curve, if I'm not mistaken, was like so. Would someone please check if that's the case? I think the demand curve was like so, right? From there to there. Yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, so this is then QS, this is QD. You have drawn the demand curve, supply curve, draw both curves again. With PE, indicate the equilibrium price, and with QE, indicate the equilibrium quantity. Yeah? So this is then, like we saw yesterday, the equilibrium price. People, I can read the chat, but I'm not going to bother and respond. This is then QE. Let's see if what I'm doing makes sense, okay? So the formulas were QD was something, QE was 400p minus 500, and QD is like, I think, 200p plus 1000, I think. Because if you have 5, then this is 0. I think that's the case. So let's see if I'm doing things correctly, okay? If I'm going to find out against which price, so guys, just a short hop into logic, okay? Even een gedachtesprongetje. I need to find the point, the price, at which these two are equal, right? Because if you look at the drawing, wait, not this one. If you look at the drawing, there's a point where the price is the same and where the determined equilibrium price on the basis of source 6.1 and 6.5. I'm going to show you. This is 6.8a, what I'm doing, and also then C and D or something. You don't need to be too specific. That's okay. They're asking for the same thing, I think, about 3 times or something. So, look, you can read it here. Let's see if I'm correct in my assumption, okay? So you need to find the price against which these two are the same. So that basically means if these two are the same, then QD equals QS, right? If they are the same, in fact. Let's see if that's the case then. Minus 200p, wait, a little bit bolder. So minus 200p plus 1000 equals 400p minus 500 then. Well, let's make them the same then, okay? So for example, I want all the p1 I want it on one side. Haha, no pun intended. So 1000 then is, sorry, plus 200p on both sides. This is the balancing method again. Equals 600p minus 500. Then I want this one to the other side. So plus 500 on both sides, which is 1500 equals 600p. 1500 divided by 600 equals p, and that's 1.5. Let's see if I'm doing things okay then. Hey, that's strange, right? So probably I've done something wrong. Let me have a look. So guys, this is also on the test. Then this is how you can check if you're doing things okay. So probably I've done something wrong. Let's see where I did things wrong. Oh yeah, look, there you go. What's wrong? I should fill it. I should hand in my degree. Yeah, thanks. It's 2.5. So let's have a look again then. Okay, so I think it's probably okay. I think it has to do with me not drawing the. Oh, sorry, layer is invisible. I think this has to do with me probably not having this at the exact correct point. So it's probably around here or something. In fact, and then this is the issue with drawing on my computer, right? So if I drew the QS correctly, then probably they would have lined up just fine. So guys, how would you check then that the answer 2.5 is in fact correct? Well, let me show you. How would you know that 2.5 is in fact correct? Wait, layers invisible. Oh yeah. How would you know if this is in fact correct? Well, if the price is 2.5, then these two would produce the same answer if I filled 2.5 in, right? So if I filled in 2.5 here, it would produce Q. And if I filled it in, yeah, exactly, fill it in both formulas. So minus 200p times 2.5 is minus 500 plus 1000 is Q is 500 for the top one, if I'm not mistaken. And 2.5 times 400 is 1000 minus 500 is then again Q equals 500. So you can see 2.5 is in fact correct. And if I was going to check this with the wrong answer that I just posted now, 1.5, you would see these two wouldn't be the same. Okay. And if you look here, you can see because of my drawing, it is about 500. So if I was going to draw this correctly, then it would be okay. People, I think it is time again to say goodbye. Do you guys have any questions? You don't get D. Okay. So explain that the equilibrium price which you have determined at question A is the same as the equilibrium price you have indicated at question C. With PE indicate the equilibrium price and with QE indicate. Okay. So question D basically wants you to tell why your drawing of PE here, why it is the same as A, because at A you were supposed to do this. Okay, so the question is, explain why this whole shebang is the same as this, and don't think too hard about it, okay? Is that okay? Does that answer your question? Because they are the same, in fact, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stop the stream now before people do things that they're going to regret. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend, okay, people? See you next time. You're welcome.